The Whole Foodie Festival is on at Whole Foods Market through October 3rd. Save on hundreds of culinary favorites like delectable cheeses, crackers, charcuterie, olives, and chocolates for that perfectly elevated snack board. Class up the party even more with short ribs, caviar, and produce on sale. And save on a huge selection of wine, including those made with organically grown grapes, starting at $6.99. Check out the Whole Foodie Festival today. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Today on CityCast Denver, the final installment of our week-long series on fall getaways. We talked about our favorite weekend trips on Monday, then yesterday, Colorado's most haunted places, but now it's time to eat. So I've got our newsletter editor and resident foodie, Peyton Garcia, with me to share our favorite road trip-worthy restaurants. And of course, it's Thursday, so as always, we're going to wrap up the show with some recommendations for your weekend. Today is Thursday, September 28th. I'm Paul Karolyi in for Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. All right, well, here I am with newsletter editor and our resident foodie, Peyton Garcia. Hey, Peyton.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, it's been an exciting morning here on the show, huh? How about that?
It has been.
Yeah, normally I don't think we would lift the curtain on this kind of thing, but our regular host, Bree Davies, is here with us in spirit, but not in laptop because there was a spill at her house. So we're going to be talking about road trip worthy restaurants to continue our fall getaways guide. And Bree's recommendations will appear in the newsletter, but not on this episode. Instead, it's just going to be you and me swapping recs, talking about the weekend to come, having some fun.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you want to start first? A road trip worthy restaurant, a restaurant so good you would drive a long way.
So I picked some places that weren't that far from home.
Okay, good. Mine are very far.
Yours are. Okay, so now we have options. We have some options. Mine are not that far, but I picked restaurants that I have been to multiple times, that I love, and that I make a point of making the drive just to go to that restaurant.
Perfect.
So I'm going to start with my Fort Collins pick. And I went to college at Colorado State University. So I spent a lot of time in Fort Collins. Go Rams, yes. And there was a restaurant there called Cafe Vino. It opened in 2008. It's a family-owned restaurant. It was actually opened by somebody who's local to the area. He went to Fort Collins High School. And it is probably my favorite restaurant in the state. In the state? I love it.
Wow.
I would say in the state. It is my favorite restaurant. And I do think that there's some nostalgia there. So I have not always been a foodie. My husband, who's a phenomenal chef and a big time foodie, he really got me into the culinary scene like years and years ago back when we were in college. And it all started, I can literally remember the moment like that something clicked in my head. And it was while eating a meal at Cafe Vino for the first time.
Do you remember what you were eating?
Yeah, it's actually two of the things I'm going to recommend because they're two of the staples on the menu. So Cafe Vino's, it's an elevated European tapas restaurant and they have over 200 wines on the menu. So that's kind of their thing is like European tapas and wine. And it's fancy. I mean, entrees are like $30 to $40. So it's elevated for sure. And the menu rotates regularly, but there are a couple staples that are always on the menu that I highly recommend. And that night that like my eyes were opened to the beauty that is the culinary world, I was eating bacon wrapped dates. So that's on their starter menu and they're the best bacon wrapped dates you'll ever have. They're pitless and they are covered in blue cheese crumble and a balsamic reduction.
Whoa.
And
so rich.
Yes, it blew my mind. And then there's also the pizza Louis pizza, and it's another staple of theirs. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but it's a pizza with sliced pears, mozzarella, bacon, blue cheese crumbles, and a drizzle of honey on top.
Interesting.
It sounds weird, right? And like when my husband made me try this, he's like, you have to try this. It'll blow your mind. And I was like, that sounds stupid. Sounds like somebody just picked a bunch of random ingredients and threw it on the dough. But it's so harmonious when you eat it. It's incredible. I mean, it's on the menu all the time for a reason. So it's very, very good. And then they make the perfect creme brulee. The perfect creme brulee.
The perfect creme brulee. And the bacon wrapped dates that changed your life. That's high praise. Did I tell you that I went to this restaurant last time I was in Fort Collins?
And what did you think?
You don't have to be nervous. I loved it. Me and my wife went. We had a great time. You were totally right. My favorite part, though, is that they share a building with, or at least at the time, they shared a building with Senator Michael Bennett's like regional office.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I got so excited about that. But when we were in the restaurant, I kept like joking to my wife, oh, Mr. B, he'll take care of the bill. Mr. B will take care of the bill. Just assuming that he's like always in there and having
he probably is. I would imagine
so too. I mean, it's a good restaurant.
It's incredible. I've eaten there over a dozen times probably, and I've never ever once been disappointed, even with the rotating menu. I had a pork chop one time that I literally dreamt about for like 2 years. A Brussels sprout Caesar salad. Anyways, that is my pick for Fort Collins. So if you are up for a short road trip and you want to make a day out of it, drive to FOCO, hit up Cafe Vino, get some tapas. It is incredible. You will not be disappointed.
Great pick. Great pick. I co-sign that one totally. Worth planning a trip around.
All right, your turn, Paul. What do you got?
Do you want the faraway one or the slightly less faraway one?
Let's do the really faraway one.
Okay, so this is an 8-hour drive, a beautiful drive across the mountains on I-70, past Grand Junction, all the way into Utah, through the canyon lands to the very front door of the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument, which is a very important part of the story behind this restaurant, which I read about in The New Yorker like 4 years ago, and I've been just dying to go to this place ever since. It's called Hell's Backbone Grill, and it's in a tiny town. It's also called Boulder, Utah. There's like 250 people that live there. So the story starts in decades ago. There's these two women, two cooks, Jen Castle and Blake Spalding. They met when they were working as cooks on river rafting tours across the Southwest. So then after Bill Clinton declared this national monument in, I think, 1996, definitely late 90s, Castle and Spalding saw that as an opportunity to open their restaurant that they've always dreamed of opening together right there outside the National Monument where they knew people would be going. It turned into a huge hit, despite being kind of a weird fit in this tiny little community. The New Yorker says Hell's Backbone grew to become an all-organic, sourcing-obsessed, vegetarian-friendly venture in the middle of a traditional ranching community, a part hippie, part hipster, Buddhist-influenced culinary retreat in conservative Mormon country. And their whole thing is like farm to table. I guess it's been like, they've won lots of awards in Utah. They've been nominated for James Beard stuff. But anyway, the end of the story and the reason why it's so exciting is these two women, when President Trump was talking about reducing the size of the national monument, they kind of went full activist mode and were like, no, you can't do this. They started speaking at rallies. They started making this a whole big part of what their restaurant was about. And this is kind of the same time that they were winning a lot of acclaim for the food. So they became champions of this national monument and of public lands in Utah. And I don't know, ever since reading about it, I've always wanted to go visit.
It is, I will say, I just looked up a photo of it. It's, first of all, adorable. It's very charming. The ambiance looks amazing. What I find really interesting about your story, though, is that it does seem like such a strange place for a restaurant like that in the middle of Utah, especially with a name like Hell's Backbone Grill, because that just it makes me think of like a biker bar serving up steaks or something.
I think that must have been what it was before, and they kept the name, because I agree. It just does not seem to fit what they're doing at all. Maybe that's part of the fun for them.
Their little slogan says, Hell's Backbone Grill and Farm, where the food is heavenly. I love it. I think this is cool. I mean, this is a great pick because you can make a road trip out of going to the monuments.
Oh,
right?
for
And then
sure.
you can tack this on too for a really great vacation. This looks really, really cool. I love this.
And I mean, the end of the story, kind of a nice ending, is President Biden reverted the National Monument back to its original borders after Trump was voted out. So they're back to their regular stream of customers, I imagine, that they had beforehand.
Yeah, I love that. Very cool.
All right, Peyton, your turn.
Okay. All right. My next one, again, not super far from home. It's a little journey to the tiny town of Estes Park. Have you heard of it, Paul?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. I'm not gonna, I know I'm not supposed to talk about Estes Park because I always talk about Estes Park. But like I said, when I was picking restaurants, I was trying to pick somewhere like places that I legitimately make a trip out of to go to. And you and I have talked about this before. I think we've even talked about it on the podcast. But my second pick is a lot more informal than Cafe Vino. It is Antonio's Real New York Pizza. Yes.
I forgot about this place.
Yes, we have talked about this place. And the way I found it is actually, I go up to Estes Park quite a bit in the summers, and I was there and I was looking for pizza. I was up there with a bunch of girlfriends, and I asked a bunch of locals. So we were just out in town, and I was like, where do I go for pizza? Where would you go? Every single person recommended Antonio's Real New York Pizza. It's a huge deal there. So Antonio de Sosa, he came to Colorado from Long Island back in 2006 and then spent nearly 10 years perfecting his New York style Sicilian pizza recipe. And then he opened his place. It's a 6,000 square foot building that's not even in the main strip of Estes Park. It's a mile and a half away in this like super nondescript Adobe style building. But their pizza is insane. And again, this is something that I make a point of driving to Estes Park because I want this pizza.
Now, we had this pizza together
at
that pizza pop-up last summer, and I remember thinking it was exceptional.
Yeah.
Like, very saucy, very cheesy, kind of like controlled mess kind of a situation. It was just delicious. Is it like that at the pizza place?
Oh, yeah. It's great. I will say I've never dined inside because when I first discovered it, it was COVID times. So I've only ever done their takeout. But the pizza is just as phenomenal as it was that day that we had it at a food truck park in Westminster. Their specialty is Sicilian style. But they also do these kind of insane gimmicky pizzas. So they do a 26-inch thin crust called the Megadon, which is huge. They have pizzas or pictures of it all over their website. And they do a 12-pound thick crust pizza called Hell's Kitchen. And each quadrant of the pizza is a different specialty pie.
Okay.
And it's insane. And then I'll end it with Antonio, who I actually have spoken with just via email. But when I was kind of looking into Antonio's background for Pizza Week, when I wrote about him in the newsletter, I went back and forth with him, and he was really, really cool. And he was just like over the moon that I was like writing about him in our newsletter. But fun vibes. I mean, if you're willing to, again, make a little road trip out of it and you want good pizza, like that is the place in Estes Park I suggest people go, is Antonio's Real New York Pizza.
All right, Peyton, that was awesome. I think we got one more, but right now we're going to go to a quick break.
This episode is sponsored by Ambient Colorado. Ambient Colorado is a new podcast showcasing the sounds of Colorado's great outdoors. So if you want to escape to the wilderness, just put on a pair of headphones. It's a new series of half-hour episodes made by and for nature lovers. Recent episodes feature thunder showers in Rocky Mountain National Park and birdsong on the Pawnee grasslands. It also celebrates the ecosystem right under most of our noses with sounds of the great Colorado backyard. There's minimal narration, so it's great for anyone looking for a relaxing listen or something to fall asleep to. And it's recorded in high fidelity, so close your eyes. It feels like you're there. Ambient Colorado is available wherever you listen to podcasts or at ambientcolorado.com. That's ambientcolorado.com.
The Whole Foodie Festival is on at Whole Foods Market through October 3rd. Save on hundreds of culinary favorites like delectable cheeses, crackers, charcuterie, olives, and chocolates for that perfectly elevated snack board. Class up the party even more with short ribs, caviar, and produce on sale. And save on a huge selection of wine, including those made with organically grown grapes, starting at $6.99. Check out the Whole Foodie Festival today. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
All right, and we're back. I think it's on me to bring us home.
Mm-hmm.
One last recommendation.
No pressure.
So, Peyton, you know I love the San Luis Valley.
Yes, you're there quite frequently.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been twice this year already, but I just always find myself down there. I just love it. Magical place. And until recently, no food options really at all. Like, at least nothing good. There's a Chinese place in Monte Vista that I think is okay. There's a brewery that serves okay pizza in Del Norte. But not anymore. Now there is a must try, or at least must stop at place while you're going through the San Luis Valley. It's called the Friar's Fork and Sanctuary. It opened in 2022, and it was just shortlisted for a James Beard Award earlier this year. So it got some press. Most of it revolves around the chef and co-owner. Her name is Denise Vigil. She's worked under, hotshot chefs in Santa Fe, Aspen, around the West. And she and her husband had been thinking about opening their own place. And I guess a few years ago, they found this Episcopalian church in Alamosa that was built in 1926. 5280 magazine describes it as the red adobe buildings and courtyard were slowly being taken over by pigeons and piles of refuse, but Vigil saw its potential immediately. And I can attest, having now been there twice, that she was totally right. It is a very beautiful place, this renovated old church, and a very interesting place for a refined Italian meal. I think the food is the draw here. I mean, the red sauce is rich and sweet and just the way you want it. And it's simple quality, I think, for the price. Like, it's not like you're not going to go in there and drop like hundreds of dollars. It's reasonable for what you're getting. They're also open for lunch. They have a little patio, so they'll serve you like a homemade Italian soda on their little patio between the old church buildings, and just a nice respite with fantastic food in the San Luis Valley.
Yeah, this brisket bacon mac and cheese that's pictured on their website, that is calling my name. That looks incredible.
Well, it's a mere 3.5 hours drive away.
Do you have something that you ate there that you really liked?
Yeah, I like the eggplant parmesan. I think was a standout. But last time I was there, you know what? It was my wife, Megan, that got most excited about just like a cold cut sandwich. Their lunch menu is very, very simple. Very simple. But like, this is a James Beard quality cold cut sandwich. Huh. She was raving about it.
That's so, yeah. All right. I mean, there is a moment right now for former churches turned restaurants. Have you noticed that?
You think?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I've had like 4 conversations in the last month with people about former churches turned restaurants. It's very cool. The inside does look very unique and charming.
Well, there's 4 great recs of road trip worthy restaurants. And then we got 2 more from Bree in our newsletter, Hey Denver, which you can subscribe to at denver.citycast.fm. But right now, here at the end of our Thursday show, we're going to do what we always do. It's time for the official CityCast Denver maybe for your weekend. As in, maybe you'll see us there. Because as usual, there's so many cool things happening in Denver this weekend, but there's only one where you might see us. Peyton rounds up her best bets in our newsletter, Hey Denver, every week. And she's here to give us her top picks. Just the 2 of us this time, Peyton.
All right. Okay. So first one is an autumn must do for most people.
Okay.
This Saturday, Elitch Gardens kicks off their Fright Fest season.
Oh,
have you ever done that?
So they do Halloween stuff? I've never done it. I did get a Elitch's season pass though. So
you did?
Maybe this is the year.
This is the year. So they do it. It's like for the next 5 weekends, they do Fright Fest at night. So it's 6:00, like Kittyland closes. And then the amusement park is open 6 to 9 p.m. And like all the creepy characters come out. So there's all sorts of people dressed in like creepy costumes walking around. So you've got, crazy clowns and, ghouls and goblins. And so it's fun. But there's also like 6 haunted house experiences there in the park. Yeah. And they're really scary. if you are into haunted houses. I can't do them. I tried as a kid. I cried the whole way through. I tried it as an adult. I cried the whole way through. They're really scary, but that's starting this Saturday, Fright Fest. I mean, tickets are expensive.
How much we talking?
$50 if you buy online. $70 if you buy at the gate.
It's $50 if I got it online. I paid $75 for that season pass. Now I have to go to Fright Fest.
You do. And then I will say the haunted houses are an additional fee. They're not even included.
Oh.
And it's like $28. But you could buy special combo packages and stuff. And then someone like you who has a season pass, you could make the money work.
Well, one thing I suspect that they do there that they have not put on the internet is using licensed characters.
Oh, really?
When I was there over the summer, they had someone dressed up like Captain America and they had a Black Panther walking around. So yeah, I suspect that this Fright Fest has I don't know, Freddy Krueger or I don't even know the monsters from
Jason.
These movies. It's not really my thing.
I don't know.
All right, what's number 2?
Next, Suave Fest.
Okay, what's Suave Fest?
Suave, if you're saying it in Spanish, or Suave if you're a white person. It is a Latino craft beer festival in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. So this event is put on by Raíces and Cultura nonprofit. It is happening at an event space called Steam on the Platte. It's in Sun Valley, right by Raíces.
Just down the street from that old Excel power plant that we did that episode about a few weeks ago.
Yes.
A very interesting neighborhood.
So this is happening Saturday from noon to 6, and it'll spotlight Latino-owned breweries, but there'll also be live Latin American-inspired entertainment, including Los Mocochetes.
Nice.
Our favorite. Plus Hispanic artists who will be doing live mural painting and Latin American food vendors. Tickets are $35 for general admission, $75 for VIP, $20 if you're the designated driver.
Well, that's thoughtful of them to include. I think I saw one of my favorite breweries. They're in the Stanley Marketplace. Choluna Brewing is going to be there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a good lineup.
This sounds fun. I mean, we love Los Mocochetes and we love Raíces, so right there. That's a good time.
All right, what else we got, Peyton?
All right, next I have Harry Potter night at Coors Field. So,
okay,
because the Rockies are desperate to get people to come to their games, if you want to go but you don't want to watch baseball, you can dress up as your favorite Harry Potter wizard or, whatever Harry Potter house you're in and go to the Rockies game, and you'll get a special Harry Potter / Colorado Rockies scarf.
How about that?
And you can hang out with all the other witches and wizards out there.
That seems cool. I mean, for baseball fans who also like Harry Potter, that's your thing. There you go.
I mean, I don't even like baseball, but I love Harry Potter, so this drew me in immediately. I want to dress up and take my wand, and I don't know if you know that about me, Paul. I'm obsessed with Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm very well aware. Have I asked you your house? What house? Gryffindor?
Yes, Gryffindor. A proud Gryffindor. I'm going to do this thing with Benny.
Your baby, yeah.
Where I'm going to print out pictures of each house and lay them out on the floor. And then when he's 9 months and 3/4, he has to crawl to one. And whichever one he crawls to is officially his house.
Wow. Well, you'll have to update me.
We take it very seriously. Okay.
All right. What's our last event?
All right. Our last option is the hot chocolate run this Sunday starting at 7 a.m. So, if you know me, you know that running is not really my thing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing you there. There's no maybe about it.
They have a 5K, a 10K, and a 15K. Now, I was tempted to sign up for the 5K just because this hot chocolate after party seems legit.
Tell me about it.
There's going to be all sorts of hot chocolate vendors, chocolate fondue, and hot chocolate swag. And that's enough to call me. I love hot chocolate. That's enough to lure me in. But it gets better. You don't have to run to get the hot chocolate goodies. There's an expo happening at the National Western Complex that's free and open to the public from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can just go and do the hot chocolate part. You don't actually have to do the running part.
So it's just like a hot chocolate festival for you if you want to ignore the...
Yeah.
Well, that does sound good.
Exactly.
I like that.
I mean, if you want to challenge yourself, the runs are happening at Wash Park beginning at 7 a.m. If you want to, earn your hot chocolate. But if you're like me and you don't want to run and you just want the hot chocolate, you do the expo part.
I'm not a huge hot chocolate person, but I do think that people will probably be bringing like interesting types of hot chocolate to this, which could be fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested how they're going to make a whole expo about hot chocolate.
Different kinds of marshmallows, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. So part of me's curious about that.
All right, so we got Fright Fest at Elitch's. We got Suave Fest or Suave Fest, the Latino craft beer festival. Harry Potter Night at Coors Field, or the hot chocolate running optional Sunday morning event. Not that interested in the Harry Potter Night, Peyton.
Fine.
To be honest, gotta be straight with you.
You're missing out.
I feel like Elitch's is. I might do that just to squeeze the value out of my season pass, but I don't know if I would want to recommend that. Just knowing what Elitch's is and how expensive that sounds. How about you? What are you thinking?
I think I'm at the hot chocolate expo.
You know what? Me too. I'm curious. I'm curious. I want to broaden my hot chocolate horizons.
It's going to be, if we're lucky, it'll be a crisp autumn morning. Perfect for hot chocolate. And I'll see you there after the run, Paul, because you'll probably run, but I will not.
I could. I might. We'll see. And there you have it. The official CityCast Denver maybe for your weekend. But there's way more where that came from. Peyton's got plenty more recommendations in our newsletter, Hey Denver, which you can subscribe to right now at denver.citycast.fm. Well, Peyton, we did it. Thanks so much for joining me.
We did it. Thanks, Paul.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed the show, why not take a minute to tell the team at the Genius Bar that Bree's coming for help? Rate the show 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts. Become a member of CityCast Denver today and support our work. All you got to do is go to membership.citycast.fm and sign up now. You can also learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you then.
This place has a whole mythical backstory. Oh my god! I just dropped my coffee on. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's still functioning, if that helps.
I know, but I have it upside down so no water gets in it, but that smell of a computer. Oh my god. You know what, you guys? I'll be back. I'm going to try to figure this out.